The small town of Stowe, Vermont, whispered about the abandoned inn tucked deep in the woods. Locals called it the Hollow Hearth, a once thriving retreat now left to rot. Its reputation was marred by the story of a caretaker who had vanished without a trace one snowy December night. Some claimed he had been consumed by the house itself. Others believed he still roamed the halls, unseen but not unfelt. Nobody dared go near it after dark. Elise, a freelance journalist, didn't believe in ghost stories. She had carved a career out of debunking haunted legends, and the Hollow Hearth was next on her list. She arrived on a moonless night, the air sharp with the bite of winter. The trees loomed like sentinels, their bare branches clawing at the sky. The inn stood at the end of a narrow path, its facade crumbling yet strangely menacing, as though it knew she was coming. She stepped inside, her boots crunching on the frost-laden floor. The air inside was colder than outside, heavy with the scent of damp wood and something faintly metallic. Her breath fogged in the flashlight beam as she explored, the silence punctuated by the soft rustle of her jacket. Elise set up her equipment in the lobby, its grand chandelier hanging lopsided, encrusted with decades of grime. She began her usual routine, speaking aloud as her camera recorded. She asked for any spirits to make themselves known, her voice echoing in the cavernous space. She played it back after each question, searching for the faintest trace of a response. At first, there was nothing but static. Then, just as she was about to give up, she heard it. A faint knock, deliberate and slow. She glanced toward the staircase. The flashlight beam trembled as she swept it across the upper landing. The knock came again, this time louder, sharper. It seemed to echo inside her skull, a sound that was both distant and unbearably close. She climbed the stairs, each step groaning under her weight. The upper floor was suffused with shadows that seemed to shift when she wasn't looking. A single door at the end of the hall stood ajar, its edges darkened as though it had been burned. The knock sounded again from within. Elise pushed the door open, revealing a room that seemed untouched by time. A bed sat perfectly made, a book open on the nightstand, its pages yellowed but not decayed. The air in the room was thick, suffocating. She stepped inside, the temperature plummeting with every step. The door slammed shut behind her. The flashlight flickered and went out, plunging her into darkness. She fumbled for her phone, its pale light barely cutting through the oppressive black. Then she felt it, a presence so close she could feel its breath on her neck, though the air remained deathly still. A voice, low and rasping, murmured directly into her ear. "You shouldn't have come." Elise spun around, but the room was empty. She scrambled for the door, her fingers slipping on the icy knob. When she finally wrenched it open, the hallway beyond was no longer there. Instead, she was faced with the inn's lobby, only it wasn't how she'd left it. The chandelier glowed with pristine crystals. The fireplace roared with life, and the air smelled of roasted chestnuts and pine. It was alive again. She saw figures moving in the corners of her vision, dressed in old-fashioned finery. A man in a caretaker's uniform stood by the desk, his eyes hollow and fixed on her. "Welcome home," he said, though his lips didn't move. The warmth of the fire was suffocating now, the air hot and thick with the scent of burning wood. She turned to flee, but her legs wouldn't move. The shadows closed in, pulling her toward the center of the room, toward the roaring fire. When the inn was found years later, her camera sat on the dusty lobby desk. The last frame showed a single flickering image, Elise's wide, terrified eyes staring into the lens, her mouth frozen mid-scream. The inn never truly lets its guests leave.